this is my next monthly update video, and like transition wise, what's been going on, what's been happening with my transition, if I'm actually having continued physical changes or not, and what's other things I've been dealing with my body and whatnot. Surprisingly, yes, there has been some things I have noticed. Mostly like 2 things, because everything else hasn't changed really. Like where my leg hair is at hasn't really changed. Underarm hair from last I updated on that has not changed with since my last laser treatment there. The treatments through here and here with the electrolysis is still working very well. The hairs through here seem to go through here and out about here, and the hair here for some reason has come back, and a hair here has come back. The rest of the hairs is pretty much, the coarse hairs are pretty much gone. So probably a few left, but it's mostly through here and here next to the lips is where most of the pigment is. Depending on the angle, you can see pigment, but it's mostly like more finer hairs that grow long. Those are the ones I'm really wanting gone, plus these 2 down here, because this one really bugs me more than any other hair I've ever had. Besides that underarm hair I had through here one time. Other than that, that's going. The other 2 things I noticed, the first, my body shape, I've noticed. The best way I can show is it's with where the butt and the back, how it curves. It's that specific shape I've been noticing. That's more in the feminine shape, and my butt sticks out more. The best way I can describe it is if I show really quickly. Pretty much this shape. Yeah, I've been noticing that a lot more. And the other thing I've been noticing is how my body's reacting with the HRT and my monthly hormone cycle this last month. It's actually has been interesting this last time, because I noticed with the cramps and bloating, this last time it was more severe than what it usually is, and it lasted 10 full days. Luckily, day 10, it kind of dissipated out instead of being as strong as it was for the longest time, which sucked. But I noticed my whole entire stomach area, the whole area, the tummy area, actually adjusted just like any other cis woman without, it's like who goes through a hormone cycle, how you get like the cramps, the bloating, that fullness. I noticed it really got full with the bloating. And when at the end of my hormonally time of the month, it went back to its normal state. And I was like, that was very interesting. I really noticed that hormonal change as well. And the interesting thing I noticed was because of how long it lasted, the 10 days, I noticed a change in my breasts. Not just like the normal swelling from that hormone difference that happens every month, then goes back to normal. They actually, if you can see, they have actually filled in more. It's like all these random spots that weren't filled in have filled in more. The part I really want filled in is right through here on the left side, down here, where I've been kneading it, just to fill in that small little shape that pretty much goes up, then it kind of curves right here a little bit. Instead of going an outward curve, it's like slightly outward here, then an inward a little bit here, then it goes outward again. It's a little dip right through here. That's what I'm needing filled in. But overall, it wasn't comfortable when it itched and had that pain. When I had the pain here, it actually was not the worst I've had, but enough to let me know that they're not done growing. Even though I'm still the same cup size, the 32H, it's the fullness is what I was getting, I noticed. And that's pretty much the biggest changes I really noticed. Besides my scoliosis not being nice with my body shape, because this side of my body is more curved than this part sticks out more. I've been noticing that as well. It's affecting that body shape. Because my scoliosis goes like down this way and it curves. Pretty much it curves like that towards this side. So this part's more curvy in my waist and this part's more flat. And I'm really noticing that flat spot on this side more, which affects how I feel sometimes with how clothing fits that shape. Because I want with like this side more curved in to its normal, so it would have more of that hourglass shape, but it's just the way my body is and it's been for a long time. It's just, it's gotten worse. That needs fixing. But other than that, those small little details lets me know that my physical changes aren't finished. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to have physical changes with my body. So yeah. So my last hormone cycle, hormonally time of the month, affected these to get fuller. And they don't seem like the fullness is going away. Which I've noticed makes me feel so much better with my body, because that mind-body connection saying it's correct. It's like those signals are saying it's more correct than what it was saying before. And I'm having less issues. And my breasts, these lovely, lovely, lovely things on my chest, they're still my favorite body part. Even more so since they have gotten fuller, because I have less dysphoria. And I've been noticing that my genitalia is my second favorite body part since being healed from surgery. Minus the small issue I had the other day with it. What it was my right, the lower part of my right labia minora, the inner labia, was having some pain. And there's a few spots inside the actual vaginal canal on the left side. Yeah, it was like deep inside the left side.
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Ignore that. Since I was the other morning when I was dilating and that was happening, it gave me some emotions I wasn't expecting, how I was feeling, especially after I've learned about like how some cis women and post-op trans women can have vaginal pain and discomfort. Things I've learned recently, and I took that to mind, and I was like, this is what needs to happen to get through this discomfort. So it was pretty much deep inside the vaginal canal on the left side, and the right side was pretty much where I was feeling it, and everything was more sensitive, more so when I was towards the end of my monthly hormone cycle, hormone time of the month. So what I had to do, and I also noticed with my last cycle, this last time, my vaginal canal was more drier than usual, than normal, because a lot of the time it's just like moistened skin where there is some lubrication, but it was drier than normal, so I had to use more lubricant when dilating. I've been having to every morning, which is a lot of fun thing, having to use more, but it is what it is. So what I had to do was use more lubricant and do more self-stimulation, like dilate a little bit longer and move the dilator so the curved tip of the dilator pushes up against those uncomfortable spots, like I was taught to do with the aftercare from everything I went through with the doctors and whatnot. So I just did that, dilated longer. And yes, I did, when I was feeling that discomfort and whatnot, I did masturbate, because when you're having that kind of pain and discomfort, the best thing is to get blood flow to the area. And when you're having these pains and discomforts, they like you to self-stimulate, so your body knows it's okay to be touched. So I pretty much masturbated with the dilator and my fingers on my clitoris. And it was also making my clitoris really painful, because my sex drive was at that high peak also, which I didn't relieve my high sex drive, that sexual tension of feelings, for like 3 or 4 days or so, or however long it was. It was probably like 5 days, 3 or 4 or 5 days, but my clitoris became really painful. I mean, physically, it was painful and discomfort I was having, until I ended up relieving it those 2 times. The first time it got rid of the pain in my clitoris, but then it was like a few days after that, when I was having the discomfort inside the canal. So when I did everything, it actually got rid of the pain and discomfort. And I did not realize how important that kind of self-care is for your body until you start going through pain. Yeah, how important that sexual care is for your body. Like that self-stimulation through masturbation and whatnot, and toys and whatever you can use and whatnot, how important that can be to the health of your body until I went through that pain. So this comes from my experience. So if you ever go through the surgery or have gone through the surgery and discover you're having that kind of pain and whatnot, that can help with that self-stimulation. So yeah, other than that, not real much any other changes with my transition physical wise. So until then, my next video, please comment, rate, and subscribe. And if there's any video ideas you want me to do specifically for this channel related kind of stuff, please comment your ideas and whatnot, and I will, as best as possible, to see what I can do about that, making an in-depth video on it. So until then, comment, rate, and subscribe, and boo.